Okay, good morning everyone. Today is day 11 and there's been a bit of a change of plans in the last 2 days. So my plan for this video is to talk through that. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. To talk through that and also to talk through what it is that I'm doing to prepare for these A+ exams and what I imagine I'm going to be doing to prepare for the Network Plus exams as well. In case anybody's going through that and wants to know what I did, and let's see if it worked. Okay, so as I mentioned, day 11, I'm now getting nearer to my A+ exam, and yeah, so things that have changed in the last few days. Number one is the exam that I want to do at the end of this. So I said that I wanted to do my A+, Network Plus, EJPT, and then not sure what was going to happen with doing my CREST CRT. Since that video, I've spoken to somebody who works in a very good pen testing company in the UK and ran my plan by them, and they recommended doing the OSCP, which I was very happy to hear, because I wanted to do the OSCP before I wanted to do the CREST CRT. The CREST CRT does not include any course of any description. You just pay for an exam take. The whole thing is covered in a non-disclosure agreement, so nobody can talk about what is in the exam. It's difficult to prepare for in that sense. And the OSCP, by the time you take both the CPSA and the CRT, if you pass them both first time, equates to about the same amount of money as the OSCP. And for the OSCP, you get courses, you get trained up, you get a much more internationally recognised qualification, which is awesome. And the person who I was speaking to said it's probably the better one of the two for an entry-level role in the UK. So that was really good. I'm happy, because that means I've got something kind of focused to do at the end of my EJPT is another course, rather than just blindly doing the CRT and not really know what's going to be in it. So, and he also said that in the UK the OSCP equates to the practical equivalence of the CRT, which is cool. So effectively it makes no difference, and I'm much happier doing it that way around. So that was change. That was the big change. There's only been one change. The second thing I wanted to talk about is what I've been doing to prepare for this A+ exam, what I'm going to be doing to prepare for the second exam if nothing changes. So I'm a very visual and auditory learner. I don't really do well just reading stuff. That's not how my brain works at all. So I've alwa+ learnt from courses or stuff like that. So I've got my main resource has been the Mike Myers A+ 1001 course on Udemy. That was great, but about 3 or 4 days in, I started to look at the exam objectives for the A+, and a few of the things that I'd supposedly covered I hadn't actually covered, and I was a bit like, oh no, what's happening here? The way he does it, he's an excellent teacher, and the way that he explains things is fantastic for understanding them, how they work. In terms of the exam objectives, he jumps around. So he may do, at the beginning of the course, he'll do an exam objective for the end of the course, but he'll only do one small part of it, and then he'll do another part of that same exam objective, in halfway through the course. So it's a very confusing way of doing it when you're trying to tick things off and trying to compare it to an exam objective, and you don't really get into, sorry, let me mute that. You don't really get to see that he's covered everything until the very, very end, where everything kind of ties together. So when I realised that was the case with the Mike Myers videos, I didn't want to just have one resource and not be able to, cross-reference. So that's when I started the Professor Messer videos too. So I've been, every day, whatever I cover with Mike Myers, I'm then taking the exam objective that actually relates to, going to Professor Messer and watching his videos on that same topic and seeing what was missing in Mike Myers or what was not. And for me, watching that on like times 1.5 speed or times 2 speed means that I can cover a decent amount per day, and it also means that Mike Myers is a fantastic teacher. If I were just using the Professor Messer videos, I probably wouldn't understand much. It would just be much more kind of memorizing stuff just for the sake of it, whereas Mike Myers will happily go back to the foundations of stuff, and he's interesting and engaging and stuff like that. So those two, and then there's a lot of things for the A+ that you just have to memorize. So I've been using an online flashcard maker, which I used at university as well to do my vocabulary for French and Spanish. So that's where I've been putting all the things to memorize. That's how my brain works. If I have flashcards, then I can just get things in. If I just keep reading it, it won't go in. And then that all finished. So I finished my course, my flashcard making and everything yesterday. And so what day is it today? Today's Wednesday. So I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do practice tests before. And I'm using examcompass.com at the moment, but their practice tests are not very good. But that's just generally what I'm doing to prepare for this. In terms of updates, other than that, big change with the OSCP instead of CRT, so I'm really happy about that, and still haven't heard back from the company, and just working away. Nothing's really changed there, so I'll see you in the next one.